The ruins of the Roman Empire still whisper secrets to those who listen closely. Beneath crumbling marble, beneath the dust of centuries, lie traces of a civilization that shaped the modern world, yet left behind relics that defy explanation. Imagine walking through an ancient Roman forum at dusk. The stones beneath your feet hum with history, yet somewhere in the shadows lie objects that challenge everything we think we know. These are not just artifacts. They are puzzles, strange creations whose existence forces us to question, how much did the Romans truly understand? And how much have we forgotten? Science has tried to explain these relics, yet many remain stubborn mysteries. Their craftsmanship, their purpose, their origin, each defies conventional history. Some suggest lost knowledge, forgotten technologies, even secrets deliberately erased from records. Others whisper of something far stranger. Tonight, we journey into those hidden corners of history where fact meets myth, where the known meets the unknown. This is not just archaeology. This is a mystery waiting to be unraveled. And the question remains, what if the Roman Empire was hiding more than we could ever imagine? The Roman Empire was one of the most extraordinary civilizations in human history. At its height, it stretched across 3 continents, uniting cultures under a single language, law, and vision. Rome built roads that still stand today, aqueducts that brought water across impossible distances, and monumental architecture that seemed to defy the limits of its time. Their engineering was unmatched, bridges, amphitheaters, and aqueducts constructed with precision and durability that modern science still studies. Yet beneath this brilliance lies a deeper puzzle. Among the marvels of Roman achievement, there are relics that do not fit neatly into the story of progress. Official history celebrates Rome's achievements as products of human ingenuity and practical necessity. But scattered across ruins, in forgotten corners of the empire, there are objects that challenge this logic. Some are crafted with such precision they seem impossible for their era. Others contain materials or designs that modern science cannot replicate even today. These relics force us to ask, was Rome simply a great civilization, or did it possess knowledge far beyond our understanding? The mystery deepens when we consider the context of these discoveries. Roman history was built on conquest, assimilation, and adaptation. They borrowed knowledge from conquered cultures, yet some relics suggest innovation that goes far beyond what was recorded. Could this imply hidden chapters of history erased by time or intention? Science struggles to explain how these objects were made or why they exist at all. This is where myth begins to blend with history. Roman records speak of secret orders, knowledge passed down in whispers, and technologies reserved for the elite. Could these unexplained relics be remnants of that hidden knowledge? Or are they anomalies, coincidences lost in translation across centuries? Either way, they stand as evidence that our understanding of the Roman Empire is incomplete. As we move deeper into these mysteries, the story of Rome shifts. It is no longer just the tale of roads and conquests, but of shadows, secrets, and relics that challenge the very foundations of history. What follows is a journey into those hidden layers of time, where science struggles to explain and history leaves more questions than answers. Scattered across ancient ruins and hidden away in museums are relics that refuse to fit the neat timeline of history. These are not ordinary artifacts. These relics, strange objects scattered across time and space, stand as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to be fully understood. They challenge our assumptions, disrupt our timelines, and demand that we look deeper. The story of Rome is not simply one of conquest and architecture. It is also a story of shadows, secrets, and unanswered questions. Science gives us tools to examine these relics, but not all questions can be answered with technology. History offers narratives, but they too leave gaps. And within those gaps lies the space for wonder. Perhaps the Romans possessed knowledge lost to time. Perhaps they left behind fragments of a science or art we can no longer replicate. Or perhaps these relics are part of something far greater, a hidden history written in silence, awaiting rediscovery. This uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. It is the tension between what we know and what we cannot explain. The relics of the Roman Empire are more than curiosities, they are invitations to think differently about history itself. They remind us that the past is not fixed, that truth is layered, and that every discovery opens more questions than it answers. We stand now before a great unknown. These artifacts whisper to us from centuries past, daring us to look beyond the surface. They are keys to stories that may never be fully told. And they leave us with the most powerful question of all: what else is hidden in the shadows of history? Perhaps the Roman Empire was more than we ever imagined. Perhaps its greatest legacy is not in the ruins we see, but in the mysteries we have yet to uncover. The journey into these hidden relics does not end here. It continues in the work of explorers, historians, and curious minds willing to challenge the limits of what we know. As the shadows of ancient Rome fade into the night, the relics remain, silent, mysterious, and eternal. They call to us, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to never stop wondering. The story is unfinished. And the mystery remains. They are objects that speak of craftsmanship, knowledge, and materials that challenge everything we think we know about the Roman Empire. Some are tools of unfathomable precision. Others are devices whose purpose remains a mystery even to the most skilled experts. These relics are fragments of a puzzle that modern science has yet to solve. Take, for example, certain Roman inscriptions carved with such mathematical exactness that they defy explanation. In some cases, the geometry is so precise it could only be achieved with advanced tools unknown to historians. Then there are metal objects that seem to resist corrosion even after centuries buried underground. Scientific analysis reveals alloys and compositions that ancient technology was never thought to produce. These findings leave experts puzzled and challenge the conventional story of Roman engineering. Beyond material mysteries, there are relics that seem almost otherworldly in design. Strange spheres, intricate mechanisms, and artifacts shaped in ways that have no clear function. Some suggest these were astronomical devices, navigational tools, or religious objects, but no conclusive explanation exists. Each relic carries a whisper of knowledge lost, as though they are remnants of a hidden chapter of history deliberately erased. What makes these relics more enigmatic is the way they appear far from where they should be. Roman influence was vast, but some finds are in locations that contradict known trade routes and historical maps. Objects crafted with Roman precision have been found deep in forests, under layers of sediment, and even in places with no known connection to Roman civilization. How did they arrive there? And why were they left behind? These relics blur the line between fact and myth. Official archaeology tries to explain them through contamination, misdating, or coincidence. Yet the deeper you look, the more these explanations falter. Some scholars quietly admit there is no adequate theory that explains these anomalies. The more we examine them, the more the mystery deepens. The question then becomes, were these relics isolated accidents, rare exceptions, or evidence of something far greater? Could they be remnants of a lost science, secret knowledge preserved only by the elite? Were they tools for purposes we cannot yet imagine? And if so, why has this knowledge vanished from history? As we explore these relics in greater detail, the mystery grows darker and more compelling. They are not merely curiosities of the past, they are challenges to our understanding of human history. Each piece is a thread in a tapestry that might rewrite the story of the Roman Empire. The journey ahead is one of discovery, speculation, and a confrontation with the possibility that some relics were never meant to be understood. One of the most famous examples of unexplained ancient technology is the Antikythera mechanism, a device so advanced that it astonished scientists when it was discovered. Found in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, this bronze artifact, dated to around 100 BCE, appeared to be an ancient computer capable of predicting astronomical events. For decades, it baffled experts. How could such precision have existed in an era supposedly limited to simple tools? The Antikythera mechanism became a symbol of the possibility that ancient civilizations may have known far more than we give them credit for. When we examine certain Roman relics, the Antikythera mechanism becomes a compelling point of comparison. There are objects within Roman ruins, intricate dials, unknown gears, and perfectly crafted spheres, that bear a strange resemblance in craftsmanship and purpose. Could the Romans have built devices similar in complexity to the Antikythera mechanism? Or could they have borrowed, adapted, or improved upon technology that we no longer understand? Science offers explanations, practical uses, mathematical patterns, astronomical purposes, but none fully account for the precision and mystery of these finds. Some scholars suggest a shared lineage of knowledge between civilizations, hidden away in a forgotten tradition of science. Others propose far stranger possibilities: lost civilizations, suppressed discoveries, even contact with forces beyond human understanding. The Antikythera connection raises profound questions. If such advanced technology existed centuries before the modern era, could it have survived in other forms? Could these Roman relics be fragments of the same hidden science? And if so, why has this knowledge vanished so completely? The absence of records makes these questions more tantalizing, and more disturbing. This mystery deepens when we consider the possibility of deliberate suppression. Rome prided itself on controlling knowledge, guarding secrets of power and engineering. If such advanced devices existed, would they have been hidden, destroyed, or preserved only for the elite? The Antikythera mechanism, after all, was hidden for centuries before rediscovery. Perhaps the same fate awaited other relics, leaving behind only scattered traces of a forgotten technology. What begins as a single strange artifact becomes part of a larger, more perplexing puzzle. The Antikythera mechanism is not just an anomaly, it is a key, a challenge, and a haunting reminder that history is rarely complete. These Roman relics demand that we reconsider everything we think we know about the past. They invite us to ask not only what the Romans built, but why so much of it was lost to time. Throughout history, knowledge has always been a form of power, and the Roman Empire understood this better than most. From secret military formations to hidden archives, Rome guarded its engineering, science, and wisdom closely. But what if some of that knowledge was not only guarded but deliberately erased? What if certain relics survived only by accident, hidden in shadows, while the true extent of their purpose was lost or concealed? The possibility of suppression is not far-fetched. Rome was a civilization built on control of territory, control of trade, and control of ideas. Their libraries were vast, yet the loss of so many texts suggests deliberate destruction. Could it be that certain knowledge was considered too dangerous for public access? Perhaps advanced engineering, astronomical devices, or techniques were restricted to a select few. This makes the existence of unexplained relics even more compelling. They might be fragments of a hidden truth, the remains of knowledge that Rome chose to hide. These relics, strange objects scattered across time and space, stand as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to be fully understood. They challenge our assumptions, disrupt our timelines, and demand that we look deeper. The story of Rome is not simply one of conquest and architecture, it is also a story of shadows, secrets, and unanswered questions. Science gives us tools to examine these relics, but not all questions can be answered with technology. History offers narratives, but they too leave gaps. And within those gaps lies the space for wonder. Perhaps the Romans possessed knowledge lost to time. Perhaps they left behind fragments of a science or art we can no longer replicate. Or perhaps these relics are part of something far greater, a hidden history written in silence, awaiting rediscovery. This uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. It is the tension between what we know and what we cannot explain. The relics of the Roman Empire are more than curiosities, they are invitations to think differently about history itself. They remind us that the past is not fixed, that truth is layered, and that every discovery opens more questions than it answers. We stand now before a great unknown. These artifacts whisper to us from centuries past, daring us to look beyond the surface. They are keys to stories that may never be fully told. And they leave us with the most powerful question of all: what else is hidden in the shadows of history? Perhaps the Roman Empire was more than we ever imagined. Perhaps its greatest legacy is not in the ruins we see, but in the mysteries we have yet to uncover. The journey into these hidden relics does not end here. It continues in the work of explorers, historians, and curious minds willing to challenge the limits of what we know. As the shadows of ancient Rome fade into the night, the relics remain, silent, mysterious, and eternal. They call to us, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to never stop wondering. The story is unfinished. And the mystery remains. Across the ruins of the empire, archaeologists have uncovered artifacts that seem to hint at secret craftsmanship. Their absence from public records only deepens the mystery. Some relics appear to have been intentionally buried, sealed away beneath layers of earth and stone. Others show signs of careful concealment, as though their makers intended they be forgotten until the world was ready, or perhaps never. This theme of forbidden knowledge is echoed in other ancient traditions. From the mystery schools of Egypt to the lost scrolls of Alexandria, history is filled with examples of knowledge lost to deliberate action. Rome's position at the center of ancient power makes it plausible that they, too, practiced secrecy. If so, these unexplained relics could be the remnants of that hidden world. Science attempts to explain these relics through gaps in the historical record, erosion, or misinterpretation. But for every rational explanation, there are equally persistent anomalies that resist explanation. This gap between fact and mystery is where curiosity thrives. It is here that the story of Rome transforms from a chronicle of conquests into something far deeper, a shadowed history of knowledge kept in secrecy. These relics are not just puzzles. They are clues pointing to something lost. They whisper of a Rome that may have been more than an empire, perhaps a keeper of forbidden knowledge. The question remains, what was so important that it had to be hidden? And who decided what the world should never know? As we move forward, this tension between science, history, and secrecy will guide our journey. The relics themselves may hold the answers, if we are willing to look beyond the official record and follow the trail into the unknown. Among the strangest relics of the Roman world is the mysterious Roman dodecahedron. These small, hollow objects, often made of bronze and shaped with 12 flat pentagonal faces, have been found scattered across ancient sites in Europe. Their purpose remains one of the most enduring puzzles of archaeology. Despite centuries of study, no definitive explanation has emerged. Their existence is a silent testament to the mysteries still hidden in Rome's legacy. The dodecahedrons range in size from a few centimeters to over a dozen, each face punctured with circular holes of varying diameters. They have been discovered in areas once under Roman control, from Britain to the heart of the empire. Yet there is no mention of them in Roman writings, no recorded purpose. This absence of explanation adds to their intrigue. Were they tools? Religious symbols? Measuring devices? Or perhaps objects tied to an ancient form of knowledge now lost to time? Some archaeologists suggest practical uses, perhaps as candlestick holders, survey instruments, or gaming objects. Others propose more esoteric purposes, linking them to astronomical observation or ritual significance. The pattern of their discovery hints at something deeper. Their distribution suggests intentional placement, a deliberate scattering across strategic locations. Could this imply a network of knowledge, shared among certain groups within the empire? The mystery of the dodecahedron becomes even more compelling when compared to other unexplained Roman relics. Its intricate design echoes the precision of objects like the Antikythera mechanism. If these objects were indeed functional, they might represent a form of advanced science or mathematics unknown to modern scholars. The Roman dodecahedron stands as a symbol of the broader tension between science and mystery, between what we know and what has been lost. This case study illustrates a key truth about the relics of Rome: they often refuse to fit neatly into our categories of understanding. They resist closure, leaving us with questions that grow more urgent with every discovery. The Roman dodecahedron is more than a strange object, it is a challenge to our assumptions about the past. Its mystery remains unsolved, a quiet reminder that history still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. As we look deeper into the mystery of the Roman Empire, we find relics not only where we expect, but in places that challenge everything we think we know about history. These are discoveries that appear far from the heart of Rome, in locations that defy known trade routes, military campaigns, and records of the empire's reach. Their existence raises unsettling questions: how did they arrive there, and why are they so often found in places we least expect? Across Europe, Africa, and even parts of Asia, archaeologists have uncovered objects bearing unmistakable Roman craftsmanship, tools, inscriptions, and artifacts designed with precision unlike any known from local traditions. In some cases, these finds are embedded in contexts that seem impossible. Roman-style relics have been discovered deep in forests, buried under centuries of sediment, and even in areas with no historical record of Roman presence. Such finds push us to reconsider the boundaries of Roman influence. One example comes from distant North Africa, where bronze objects with unmistakable Roman design were unearthed in desert ruins far from major Roman settlements. These relics, strange objects scattered across time and space, stand as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to be fully understood. They challenge our assumptions, disrupt our timelines, and demand that we look deeper. The story of Rome is not simply one of conquest and architecture, it is also a story of shadows, secrets, and unanswered questions. Science gives us tools to examine these relics, but not all questions can be answered with technology. History offers narratives, but they too leave gaps. And within those gaps lies the space for wonder. Perhaps the Romans possessed knowledge lost to time. Perhaps they left behind fragments of a science or art we can no longer replicate. Or perhaps these relics are part of something far greater, a hidden history written in silence, awaiting rediscovery. This uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. It is the tension between what we know and what we cannot explain. The relics of the Roman Empire are more than curiosities, they are invitations to think differently about history itself. They remind us that the past is not fixed, that truth is layered, and that every discovery opens more questions than it answers. We stand now before a great unknown. These artifacts whisper to us from centuries past, daring us to look beyond the surface. They are keys to stories that may never be fully told. And they leave us with the most powerful question of all: what else is hidden in the shadows of history? Perhaps the Roman Empire was more than we ever imagined. Perhaps its greatest legacy is not in the ruins we see, but in the mysteries we have yet to uncover. The journey into these hidden relics does not end here. It continues in the work of explorers, historians, and curious minds willing to challenge the limits of what we know. As the shadows of ancient Rome fade into the night, the relics remain, silent, mysterious, and eternal. They call to us, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to never stop wondering. The story is unfinished. And the mystery remains. Another comes from Asia Minor, where intricate carvings resembling Roman motifs were found in layers of earth predating known Roman conquest of the region. These discoveries suggest a level of movement, exchange, or influence far beyond what historians have recorded. Could these be remnants of forgotten expeditions, or evidence of a network of knowledge hidden from history? The implications grow even stranger when we consider the consistency of these finds. Objects of similar craftsmanship appear scattered across continents, often in patterns that hint at intentional placement. Could the Romans have left these relics as markers of influence, knowledge, or even as part of a larger network we have yet to decode? This possibility forces a confrontation between the neat narratives of history and the complexity of the archaeological record. Official explanations often attribute these relics to trade, conquest, or chance. Yet in many cases, logistical realities make such explanations improbable. The sheer distances, combined with the precision of the artifacts, suggest something more deliberate. These relics are not random, they appear as fragments of a story that has been scattered across time and space. Such discoveries blur the line between documented history and hidden reality. They suggest that the Roman Empire may have extended its reach, not just geographically, but into realms of knowledge and technology that we barely glimpse today. This expands the mystery far beyond a single artifact or site. It transforms the puzzle into a global enigma, one that forces us to question what other relics lie buried, waiting to be uncovered. As we examine these relics in unexpected places, we begin to see a pattern, one that points toward a Roman Empire far more complex, secretive, and advanced than history acknowledges. And this pattern leads us directly into a confrontation with modern science, where the known meets the unexplained. In the modern age, science prides itself on answers. Archaeology, material science, and history work together to decode the past. Yet, when faced with certain relics of the Roman Empire, even the most advanced methods meet a wall of mystery. These objects defy timelines, construction techniques, and purpose, leaving science without full explanations. And this gap between fact and mystery is where the story becomes most compelling. Modern archaeology applies rigorous methods, carbon dating, metallurgical analysis, 3D modeling, to examine relics. In many cases, these techniques confirm the age and authenticity of the finds. Yet they often fail to explain why such objects exist, how they were made, or what they were used for. Materials unknown to ancient chemistry, geometries of impossible precision, and placement in locations defying historical knowledge all resist easy interpretation. Science can measure these relics, but not fully understand them. This is where history meets uncertainty. The official record of the Roman Empire is vast, but it is incomplete. There are gaps, contradictions, and mysteries that have endured for centuries. Modern science can fill in some blanks, but certain relics remain outside explanation, not due to lack of technology, but because they challenge the framework of accepted history itself. This clash between science and mystery is what makes the story so powerful. For every attempt to explain these relics logically, there is a counterpoint, an anomaly that resists closure. Some scientists suggest lost craftsmanship, forgotten techniques, or errors in interpretation. Others admit that these relics hint at knowledge no longer preserved in human memory. The implications of such gaps are profound. They suggest that history is not fixed, but evolving. Each unexplained relic becomes a challenge to science itself, forcing experts to question assumptions and expand the boundaries of possibility. The Roman Empire may hold secrets that could rewrite our understanding of technology, culture, and the nature of progress. As we stand between the certainty of modern science and the allure of ancient mystery, one question remains: are we simply missing fragments of knowledge buried in time, or is history hiding a truth far greater than we dare to imagine? The journey to find answers will take us deeper into the heart of the Roman mystery, where science struggles to explain and history leaves us with more questions than answers. When faced with relics that defy explanation, human imagination quickly turns toward theory. The unexplained Roman artifacts we have examined so far invite speculation that stretches far beyond conventional history. What emerges is a spectrum of possibilities, each more intriguing, and more unsettling, than the last. These competing theories reveal as much about our fascination with the past as they do about the relics themselves. One possibility is that the Roman Empire possessed advanced knowledge that has been lost to time. This would suggest that the unexplained relics are not anomalies, but remnants of a forgotten science, perhaps a form of engineering or mathematics far beyond what we currently understand. If true, such knowledge could have been deliberately hidden, passed down to select groups or destroyed entirely. This theory aligns with patterns of secrecy we have already seen in Rome's history and raises the possibility of entire chapters of human knowledge erased from the record. Another theory moves beyond human history, suggesting that some relics may represent contact with forces unknown to us, whether lost civilizations predating Rome or even extraterrestrial influences. Proponents point to the precision, materials, and design of certain artifacts as evidence that cannot be explained by ancient technology alone. This idea remains controversial, but it persists precisely because there is no conventional explanation that fits all the facts. There are also interpretations grounded in more traditional archaeology. Some suggest that the objects are the results of experimental craftsmanship, regional ingenuity, or cultural exchange. While plausible in certain cases, these theories struggle to explain the scale, consistency, and distribution of the relics. The patterns suggest intention and knowledge that may extend far beyond isolated craftsmanship. The implications of these possibilities are profound. If the Roman Empire had access to advanced technology, lost knowledge, or contact with unknown forces, it would reshape our understanding of history itself. We would have to reconsider not only the nature of Roman power, but the entire trajectory of human development. The idea that history is linear, a gradual progression of discovery, might give way to a more complex picture, where knowledge is gained, lost, and recovered across civilizations. These theories also challenge the boundaries between fact and speculation. Each possibility requires us to question the nature of evidence and the limits of interpretation. History is not fixed, it is shaped by the evidence we choose to acknowledge and the stories we build around it. The unexplained Roman relics force us to confront this uncertainty. Ultimately, these competing theories lead to the same unsettling question: what if the truth has been buried along with the relics themselves? And if so, who decided what knowledge should be preserved and what should be forgotten? The search for answers is not merely academic, it is a confrontation with the possibility that history holds secrets capable of transforming the way we understand ourselves and our past. The journey we have taken through mystery and science now arrives at a crossroads. Ahead lies a final confrontation with the enigma of Rome's hidden relics, a moment where fact, theory, and wonder meet. As we reach the end of this journey into the mysteries of the Roman Empire, one truth becomes clear: history is far more complex than the textbooks tell us. These relics, strange objects scattered across time and space, stand as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to be fully understood. They challenge our assumptions, disrupt our timelines, and demand that we look deeper. The story of Rome is not simply one of conquest and architecture, it is also a story of shadows, secrets, and unanswered questions. Science gives us tools to examine these relics, but not all questions can be answered with technology. History offers narratives, but they too leave gaps. And within those gaps lies the space for wonder. Perhaps the Romans possessed knowledge lost to time. Perhaps they left behind fragments of a science or art we can no longer replicate. Or perhaps these relics are part of something far greater, a hidden history written in silence, awaiting rediscovery. This uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. It is the tension between what we know and what we cannot explain. The relics of the Roman Empire are more than curiosities, they are invitations to think differently about history itself. They remind us that the past is not fixed, that truth is layered, and that every discovery opens more questions than it answers. We stand now before a great unknown. These artifacts whisper to us from centuries past, daring us to look beyond the surface. They are keys to stories that may never be fully told. And they leave us with the most powerful question of all: what else is hidden in the shadows of history? Perhaps the Roman Empire was more than we ever imagined. Perhaps its greatest legacy is not in the ruins we see, but in the mysteries we have yet to uncover. The journey into these hidden relics does not end here. It continues in the work of explorers, historians, and curious minds willing to challenge the limits of what we know. As the shadows of ancient Rome fade into the night, the relics remain, silent, mysterious, and eternal. They call to us, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to never stop wondering. The story is unfinished. And the mystery remains.